Of course, an error happened. Hold on.
Does this say anything about your leadership? Have you maybe reflected on your leadership style moving forward?
No.
Today, Pierre Poilievre addressed reporters, and supposedly people are calling it the best interview yet. My name is Nico Lagan, and I'm too conservative for the conservatives. My co-host, Rob Ambrose, not woke enough for the liberals. We are the political orphans. Tonight on the show, we speak about the incoming Olympic ban. Toronto is set to rise the Palestinian flag. And of course, Pierre Poilievre gave his best interview to date. And you need to hear what CBC had to say about it. The main show of this goal is simple. We want to promote civil discourse. It doesn't matter if you're left, you're right, you agree with us, or you disagree with us. We want to hear from you. So make sure to leave us a comment in the box below. What's going on, man?
What's up, brother? I guess we'll get right into it. Yeah, who's saying it was the best interview ever? Was it The Usual Suspects?
Thank you for kind of getting my drift on that one. That was kind of the joke I was trying.
You were being sarcastic on that.
Well, you know what? I follow certain people, and that is somebody that I know. That is somebody that I recorded with. So I'm not gonna call them out. I downloaded the video and I will play it from mine. I'm not here. But I want to talk to him. Like, I'm going to contact him, I think, afterwards and just say, like...
ask him, like, what was that?
Yeah, because it's really being sold as the interview, like, his best interview to date. Pierre Poilievre is shooting off all cylinders. And I'm just like, you know what? I won't say anything. I will just play it. I think my sarcasm was enough, but I will play the video. We'll start right there. Okay. Hold on. It seems, give me a second. I just need to download it here. Yeah, because like I said, I'm not gonna trip on the guy that posted it because I actually really like the guy and I don't really agree with everything that he says. This one though, I'm like, I'm not sure, bro. I am not sure about that one. So here is Pierre Poilievre supposedly firing from all cylinders. Here's
you lost two MPs the week of the budget. One cited your leadership as a reason for leaving. I just want to put Carney and the Liberals to the side here, just as you personally.
Of course you do.
Does this say anything about your leadership? Have you maybe
his eyes are getting closer and together every day I see him.
No,
like soon he's just going to be a
cyclops. My plan is to continue to lead and be the only leader in the country that's fighting for an affordable candidate.
You want to hear what he said, because he's basically calling him out. He's like, you got some MP crossing the floor, then you have somebody else that resigned. They're calling in your leadership. Are you going to change it? No.
No, nothing wrong with it.
Here, just as you personally.
Of course you do.
Does this say anything about your leadership? Have you maybe reflected on your leadership style moving forward?
No, my plan is to continue to lead and be the only leader in the country that's fighting for an affordable Canada, where our people who work hard can afford a home and food. That is my agenda. And I will just quote Mr. d'Entremont when he speaks about Mark Carney. He says, after 6 months under a new Prime Minister who promised financial discipline, Canadians are still waiting. He said that he would be judged by the cost of groceries at the store. Well, Canadians are judging him, and they are not impressed. He said this only a few months ago. Since the Liberals came to power, food prices are up 40%. We have heard it many times here today. It is deliberate, and it is unacceptable. It is inhumane, said Mr. d'Entremont, for a G7 country. So he said that Liberal food price inflation under Mark Carney was inhumane, and I couldn't agree more. And I feel badly for the inhumane conditions, to use his own words, that he is now supporting for his own constituents. But I won't...
remember what he just said. He basically described the condition of the constituents of d'Entremont, the conservative MP, and I'm going to say conservative because he's a red Tory, he's a self-declared red Tory, but the state of his riding is inhumane. Remember that when because he says something else later, and I'm like, you're kind of contradicting yourself here. So up to now, we're a minute in. He told us that he has no plan on changing his leadership role, which, as a real conservative, I've been calling him out for a year now that we've been recording together, just under like 10 months, and I'm calling him out every single day. So he has no intentions of changing. So basically he has no intentions of keeping his job, is what I'm hearing. But then remember that he just called the condition in which we are in Canada, and specifically d'Entremont's writing, to be inhumane.
Just quote him. I'll quote Nate Erskine Smith, a Liberal MP, who now says that his children should not have to pay for Mark Carney's budget. Specific promises in our platform.
I think we can agree with that, right? We said that before. The Liberals called them generational investments, as in your children and your grandchildren are going to be paying the debt that Carney's racking right now. Yeah. So at least I'll give credit where credit is due. He's right about that. Nobody wants that, right? Well, sorry. I can't say nobody, because people still would vote for the Liberals. I don't want that for my boy and his children either. I don't.
Sure.
And it unfortunately falls well short of the wartime home building effort that many of us thought we'd deliver. It's certainly not a budget that should throw us into an election on an uncertain time, but it does not live up to its promise of generational investments. He goes on to say, this is Mr. Nate Erskine Smith, a Liberal MP, that Mark Carney has broke his promise to spend less, with $90 billion of new spending, only 36% of which is actually capital. The rest is more costs. So when you have a Liberal MP attacking the costly credit card budget that Mr. Carney has put forward, then we see turmoil in the Liberals, and I know that there will be wall-to-wall coverage on CTV of this turmoil, of a Liberal MP criticizing his own budget days before the vote. I know you're camped outside his office right now, waiting to get comment from him. I know you've been chasing Mark Carney down hallways to find out what he has to say. I mean, it's just been the relentless coverage that you will have of this dissent within the Liberal Party. I understand also there's former Liberal minister Gabble is unhappy with the environmental policies that while he supports raising costs, he doesn't think they raise them enough. We've got Wilkinson is unhappy. So I know that I'm looking forward to seeing the wall-to-wall coverage on CTV of all of the costly turmoil in the Liberal budget. So I will be tuning in tonight to watch your newscast. Thank you.
Costly turmoil. He's so stuck on the word costly that he's just using it in context where it doesn't make any sense. So I mean, I don't know. When I see that interview, I think he probably did it as good as he could have. I certainly wouldn't call it firing on all cylinders, or you know, I don't think it's anything great. I think he didn't really do anything bad. He didn't say anything bad, but he certainly didn't really answer the question. And you know, the premise of the question is valid. You know, if you have it doesn't really matter what the stated reason for why the members of parliament underneath you are defecting to the other party. The fact that they're doing it, period, reflects on you. It does reflect on your leadership. He didn't really address that. He just went into sort of a canned answer. You know, I think you know, he called out CTV there in the mainstream media, and I think that was fine. I think that was, you know, because they are clearly not going to report on the turmoil in the Liberal Party the way they are on the Conservative Party. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I don't know where they're getting like shooting on or firing on all cylinders from, because I didn't really see that as amazing or anything. I thought it was okay. I didn't you know, I don't have too much of shit on him for, but except that he didn't really answer the question, and the question is valid.
You know, I'm not going to shit on Pierre Poilievre at all. I do it enough every single day. What I don't understand is that two of the biggest content creators in Canada, like we're talking massive platforms, are calling it either firing on all cylinders. And I will quote it here. So, breaking, Poilievre just had the best interview of his career. He is firing on all cylinders, and is now insanely skilled at this. That was a description of this video. And then another one that is just a shorter version of this one. Justin, Pierre Poilievre snaps back at snarky reporter who pressed him on the floor, crossing rumors.
No, he didn't answer the question at all, though. He went into a fairly canned comment about just the budget in general. You know, a lot of that stuff is just, you know, the like clickbaity content creating headlines. Like,
yes,
Pierre Poilievre destroyed the media. Right? No, he didn't. He didn't destroy them. I
couldn't agree with you more. As I was reading this, I'm like, all the little keyword notes, like all the keywords are there, perfect for the algorithms to try to boost your.
That's exactly what it is, and it's I mean, if I have not followed Poilievre's entire career, but if that's the best interview he's ever given in his entire career, that's pretty sad. That's a sad state of affairs, and I don't even think that was a terrible interview. It was fine. I didn't have anything to shit on him for. But if that's the best of your career, that's not a good career, man.
In 20 years, don't forget, he's been at this for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to take these ones from Cornelius because I'm pretty much done on that subject. There was another video. The reason I was bringing up Inhumane, I thought it was in this video, but there's another video from the same interview. Obviously, it wasn't just 3 minutes long, but I was watching another video and it was saying that Pierre Poilievre in that same kind of interaction was saying that it was a costly budget, but not costly enough to trigger an election. Yet in this video, he's calling it inhumane. I'm like, really? It's inhumane, but it's not inhumane enough for us to call an election. What the fuck are you saying?
That stood out to me too. That jumped out at me too.
Did he say it in this video? Was it in this video that he said it, or was it another one? I didn't hear it this time.
So he did say the part where he said, you know, it's not a bad enough budget to cost.
Okay.
But I think he was quoting the Liberal. I don't think that was from him, because at first I was like, maybe watch it again, because at first I was like, wait a minute. So they're not going to bring this down, because that's a very a big about face from what he was saying a week ago when he said, you know, if it's if it makes life more costly for Canadians, I won't pass it. And now, if you're going to pass it, I think that's what Anastasia says. It was Nate that said, I think he was quoting the Liberal.
That's fine, but at the same time, even if he didn't say it, he still doesn't want an election because he had the perfect opportunity to do it Friday last week, and he didn't do it.
Exactly.
The only chance that he's going to get, he had it last week, and he didn't take it. So at the end of the day, he does not want an election.
No,
I stand corrected.
He doesn't.
I just need to address this.
No. I'll be back. Sorry.
Yeah. So Cornelius, no, it is not Mario. It is not Pleb either. It's two different people. And one of them I actually like both of them. Both of the two people we're talking about. I'm not trying to rip on them. It's just that it's being sold as Pierre Poilievre's best interview, and I'm like, I don't see it. Like, that was not a great, it was not a bad interview by any stretch of the imagination. Though. We have to agree that Pierre Poilievre has been at this for a long time, so he knows how to speak to people, speak to reporters, but to say that it was a great interview, it definitely was not. Let's take some of the comments here. Prairie, what's going on, Prairie? Oh, for fuck's sakes. Pierre Poilievre, weak as fuck, no costly election, get the fuck out. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Melgy, Alberta Independence, good evening. Oh, good evening. Louis from Rumble, career politician protecting his ass. Yeah. That's exactly how I see it, and he's very comfortable in his role of the opposition leader. Easy money, he doesn't have too much responsibilities. He gets to speak and debate people every day, but never really brings anything to the table. So I agree with you. Ann King is saying, sorry to say, but even your conservatives up there are weak. Don't be sorry to say. I call the conservatives out every single fucking day on this show. So Ann King, you're absolutely right. I spend half of my time in the US, and I can tell you that our conservatives in Canada are the equivalent of your Democrats in the US. There's nothing, we do not have centrists in Canada, yet alone rightists like Republicans, it doesn't happen. If you know what the Overton window is, like the window of politics, if you will, we are 100% in the left spectrum. We have socialists like Memdani or Membani, the guy, the mayor-elect of New York, that we have a full party called the NDP that is dedicated to socialists, just like he is. But our conservatives are right-leaning leftists, but they're still in the sphere of liberalism. So you're absolutely right, our conservatives, and you should change the C on your conservatives for a big C, because small C conservatives are like me, real conservatives that actually want not a progressive. See, just to make your point, and King, in Canada, our conservatives are not called conservatives anymore. They're called progressive conservatives, which is a fucking oxymoron. You cannot be a progressive and a conservative. It goes against the actual meaning of conservatism. So that's how fun we are here in Canada.
Yeah,
but as one of our listeners,
they changed the name of that back, but I mean, in some places they did. Ontario still has it. Just,
yeah. Well, he deserves it. Let's be honest here. If there's somebody that deserves to be called a progressive conservative or a liberal, it is definitely Dougie. Yeah, Doughboy Ford. I was going to say Rob, but Dougie Doughboy. It's a great name, huh? Doughboy. Yeah, he looks like a doughboy.
Yeah, Dougie Doughboy.
Louis from Rumble saying uniparty system protecting crime syndicate. You know, this morning I was posting, and I've talked about this before, but doctors and politicians should be forced to wear the logos of the company they take money from, just like the drivers in NASCAR. Yeah. They should have to, when they go to the House of Commons, their suits should be covered. Like, instead of just having a poppy like me, they should have logos of all the companies they accepted money from, so that we know exactly where their values stand, who they represent.
DuPont.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%.
And Nastasha, yes, says, I thought of provincial PC and federal TPC. That's correct. The federal party has officially changed name a couple of years back, I think under Harper, to the Conservative Party. But because I think they eventually realized that's kind of a ridiculous name for a Conservative Party, really. It'd be like the Liberals.
You can't be a progressive and a conservative. You can't.
If they were the Conservative Liberal Party of Canada, right? That would be ridiculous.
No, the Liberal Conservatives. We are liberally conservative.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. Anastasia, I'm not kind of biased towards Pierre. I am absolutely 100,000 million% biased towards Pierre. He is a weak.
That's definitely true. That's definitely true. And it probably prevents you, I think, maybe from. I think you're maybe a little hard on him than if you were completely neutral. But at the end of the day, as we say here all the time, we all have biases, and there isn't really, you can't eliminate those. As long as you're open about your biases, that's perfectly fine, whether it's media or, independent media like us here on the show. So as long as people know that you're biased there, then there's nothing wrong with that, I don't think.
No, I will definitely admit that I'm biased. I do not like the guy. I do not like his politics. He's not a good leader. He's weak as shit. Weak as baby shit, like what my son is providing in the diaper, 4 months old son is soft, giving us every day. That is like soft. Yes. But we don't I'm biased. I have no problems admitting it. I would say it to his face. I have no problems. Yes, is it preventing me from having Conservative Party members on the show? Absolutely. But at the same time, you know what? I will never sell out to a political party. I won't. I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years.
You know that we're never going to be bought and paid for here on this show.
No,
if nothing else.
It's been 4 or 5 years, between 4 and 5 years since I've been creating content, a good 2.5 years full time. I have never taken a sponsor before. I have never taken money from anybody, but I'm announcing our first sponsor today. Like, literally today is the first time, just because. Yeah.
So now that we said that, go Pierre.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, but our show's going to change. We will become like the other big C conservative content creators out there. Never going to fucking happen. Never going to happen. But all to say that in 4 years, I've never taken sponsorship money, and I will never take money from, especially not a political party. Never going to happen. But would I take money from health stores? Absolutely. Like from company that provides health services, like I would use, absolutely. And you'll see, you know what? This is the perfect opportunity to talk about it tonight. Today's episode of the Political Orphans is sponsored by Gabble. Gabble is the first live video debate app on the market. You can choose to sit back and watch, or if you have the balls, jump in and debate others. Like us, Gabble is about civil discourse. So check the description below for our affiliate link. And yes, every single time somebody downloads the app, we get paid. So it's just another way to support the show. But all to say that I had a great conversation with the guy that started it. He's a kid. He's like 23 years old, out of Columbia University in the US.
I looked into it.
And it's all debate.
Yeah.
It's 3-round debate starting tomorrow. I'm going to start appearing on their platform and debate people. But this is what I do.
Is it true that it's like money debate? Like you can make money if you win? Is that how it works? I looked a little bit into it and I was like, that's pretty wild. Like a gambling, not even gambling, but like I assume it costs some money to enter it. You don't have to do that either. You can just watch or
yeah. Right now, as it stands, no.
Okay.
There's no money to be made
towards that, which would be kind of.
But there's a winner because the people that are watching live will vote for who won, and then you have AI that will split the vote to say who won. So the concept is really cool. When they approached me, we've been talking behind the scene for about 3 weeks now. Super cool. Like I wish I thought about that. I actually fucking thought. I wish I would have thought about an app like that.
It's a cool idea.
Considering what we do, it syncs 1-to-1. But guys, it's brand new. It's only available on. It's only available on Apple right now. I can't download it on my Android, so I'm gonna have to. Yeah, but they're developing the Android right now. I'm gonna have to join with my wife's cell phone to debate people. So it's all good. But all to say. This is the type of sponsorship to me that makes sense. I want to promote civil discourse. If there's one thing this show's about is civil discourse. We want to have those hard debates. So
if it makes sense to do it, right? For the show, then obviously, it's we're gonna accept that. Obviously, none of these sponsors are affecting the editorial content whatsoever in any way.
No.
Just another way to support the show.
It's in the contract. It's in the contract that I told the guy blunt, if you try to tell me what I can and cannot say, you can go fuck yourself right now and leave. That's how I spoke to him. I don't take this shit. Absolutely not. Now, if you believe in civil discourse and you don't want to get involved in my shit, in our shit here, and yes, Derek, it's an open forum. I think they start with 10 topics. It's either 9 or 10 trending topics every day. Okay. And you can go in and debate. And they have about 200 people debating right now. So they have a boatload. They're 3-minute rounds. Supposedly they're super, super fast. I'm going to start tomorrow.
That's cool. This should be fun.
Yep.
I think it'll live or die on, if it's how it's moderated, right? If they allow it to be a truly open debate, then I think it will do well. Yep. I think there's people who, but if it's like, okay, you can only debate within the framework of, the left, like what the left's narratives. Like if you can't, if they have a debate on the trans issue, for example, but you have to use female pronouns if you're referring to, then obviously it's just going to fall apart.
And that's the thing, right? I've been on some of the biggest platform when it comes to debates, like the Common Ground, Common Ground series from Jubilee Media. And that's exactly what it was. We literally were arguing feminists and masculine, how did they call them? How do they call us again? MRAs. Okay. We're protectors of masculinity.
Men's rights activists? Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. And it was 4 against 4. On one side, you had an escort. You have somebody on. You had somebody on. How do you call it? OnlyFans. The other one, literally, she was a lawyer and she quit being a lawyer to go show her body. You had you literally had real feminists, like what you expect from a feminist. On our side, 2 out of the 4 one was a self-proclaimed feminist and the other guy was weak as shit. And then we had a woman on my side, she's really known. I just can't remember what her name is. She's the redhead that is everywhere. If you've ever heard about men's rights activists, yeah. So I debated with Pearl was on my side when we debated. But all to say that if it's that type of platform, it ain't gonna work. And I'm not. If it's that type of platform, I'm gonna cancel the sponsorship. I don't want to deal with a platform that's not open. I need to be able to go in there as a conservative and debate liberals. You need to.
Yes.
You have to. You have to be 100% open to those conversations as long as it's civil discourse, right?
Yep, that's right. Lewis said the app's called Gabble, and it's, of course, because it's an app, it's got to be spelt in a weird way. So I just put it in
Gabble.
Yeah. So that's a good point. You'll find that. But yeah, guys, check it out. Let us know what you think. Yeah, I mean, certainly we encourage you to go download it because I assume there's got to be some way for it to tell that it comes from our viewers or something.
Yeah, you just need to get the link. If you go in the description of this show on YouTube, you have the affiliate link. Yeah, do it that way because again, this is a way to support us. At the end of the day, we do get paid every time somebody downloads the app using that affiliate link. So please use the affiliate link. Would I debate Rachel Gilmore? Oh, I would, but that wouldn't be much of a debate. She's such a twat. What an idiot that woman is.
No, people like Rachel Gilmore rely on society to enforce. You know what I mean? So she can't actually debate. So she just relies on people to shut down debate, right? To call you a transphobe or racist or a whatever phobe, some bigot, if it's about any issue that she's engaged on.
She was calling out, Joey Swoll, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So remember, I've been a fan of his for a while, but then he went like a little bitch. He apologized to the woke mob for having the audacity to wear a Hulk Hogan outfit.
Yes, that's what it was. That's so ridiculous.
And now they're in a fight. Rachel Gilmore and Joey Swoll are arguing against each other now. And all I can think, I wish I knew the guy because I would call him and just say, bro, don't do it. That woman is like the biggest twat in Canada. The last time she was in an argument and she said something stupid, remember what she said about Charlie Kirk and saying people like me would use that to shoot people? She disappeared for a week because she couldn't handle her comments. So that's the type of woman that we're talking about here. Somebody that says a lot of dumb shit, but that does not want to deal with the consequences of her speech.
Of course not.
Talking about not dealing with the consequences of your speech. Here's one. This one's for you. I saw this. I'm like, oh, balls. We need to talk about this. You heard about the Olympics, right?
Yep.
You know what's happening with the Olympics?
Well, this is the issue. This is why Joey Swoll, because he chimed in and said basically it was good that the Olympics did this.
Well, it started with him saying that a man that was a convicted felon, a guy that had been, if I'm not mistaken, the guy he was talking about had beaten a woman before. He was in the women's bathroom. They're asking him to leave and he just won't leave. And it's a dude. He is not dressed. He's not even trying. It's literally me showing up. What's going on, bitches?
It's not. Most of them aren't even trying anymore, right? It's no. It's the same power play as the Muslims shutting down streets. It's just to say, I'm here in your space and there's nothing you can do about it. That's exactly what a lot of these guys are doing.
Oh yeah, 100%. So this is connected. So thank you for talking about Rachel Gilmore because that brought Joey Swoll, which is bringing the Olympics. But the Olympic announced that they're looking at banning the transies. But notice what they say at the beginning. I won't stop the video. I'll bring it back after. But they say something, I'm like, ooh, you just proved that biology's a real thing, motherfuckers. So, here we go. Let's listen to Fox News.
Still more than 2 years away from the 2028 Summer Games, but potential changes to Olympic gender policy could determine who's going to be able to compete.
Senior Foreign Affairs correspondent Greg Palcott has more.
3 months before the Winter Games, the International Olympic Committee is moving towards a complete ban on transgender women in female events. The Times of London reports the policy switch could be announced at the next IOC session in February and could take effect in time for the 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles.
One of the things that we're looking for in this policy is
I
sex
like her.
screenings or sex tests,
Riley Gaines.
ultimately to prove if someone is male or female. It is a very, very simple cheek swab that would determine whether you are male or female based on your chromosomes.
The IOC has previously left it up to individual sports to decide how to determine gender eligibility. But a science committee reportedly told members last week that being born male continues to provide physical advantages.
What?
In recent years, similar
No.
by other sports federations, as well as President Trump, who signed an executive order banning transgender athletes from competing in women's sports. The potential change follows a major controversy of the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris, where two boxers won gold medals in the women's division, despite previously allegedly failing gender tests. Both fighters maintained they are women.
The whole process, as I understand it, is flawed from the very beginning, from the conception of the test to how the tests were shared with us, how the tests have become public.
The IOC says it's continuing discussions on the topic and has not made a final decision.
Well,
So did you hear what they said at the beginning? They're
What did they
looking
say?
to ban transgender women. They're not going to ban women from competing in men's sports because we all know they fucking suck and they don't make it to the Olympics.
Well,
You don't have a
it
woman.
doesn't happen.
So they
It's-
precisely said women, trans women, because you know that women passing as dudes are not fucking competing at the Olympic level against dudes. It
Yes,
ain't happening.
It's not happening at all. And it's just one of the things where it's just so obvious. The truth and the facts are so obvious. We all know them, but we're doing this weird thing in this debate where 40 or 50% of society pretends that they've gone collectively insane. The crazy thing is they haven't actually gone insane. All the people who support this trans nonsense, they actually know that these are just men and that there is a difference between the male and female body, but they're pretending not to know. And so we're in this weird, bizarro, upside down world where we all know the truth, but we're like the left is creating an entirely different paradigm and then arguing in that realm that no one actually believes. Nobody thinks that a transgender woman is an actual woman or a female. Even the ones who say it, even the ones who say trans women are women, they don't actually believe it. Fact of the matter is if they were actually women, you wouldn't need to say it. You know what I mean? The fact that you need to say it again and again and again and again means that they actually aren't. And I think I really don't like the framing of this, even when this is a great example of what I mean, what I was saying earlier, where a lot of like debates is actually framed from a left-wing perspective, even when it's portrayed as neutral. So if you read a news article on this, let's say it's trying to be neutral, but it will still use politicized or weaponized terms like trans women. So when you say trans women are banned from the Olympics, if you're not that engaged in the topic, you might be like, oh no, how terrible. But the fact of the matter is no, trans women, call them men. First of all, if you just called them men, none of this problem would start. If you just said in the headline, men are now banned from female sports, nobody would think twice, right? Nobody would be like, oh no, that's terrible. They would be like, well, yeah, obviously that's a given. But because they change the language, and that's why a lot of these trans activists, and they take a page right out of the Marxist playbook on this, is they go after the language first. They change the language first, because if they can change how you talk about it, then they can change how you think about it. And
100%.
at the end of the day, the media is incredibly complicit in this, exactly because of those things. Now, it will say it's just being neutral when it uses those terms, but there's nothing neutral about those terms at all. And if you see all the time, some article will be like trans woman removed from female prison, and some people, if you don't know, will be like, oh no, they're putting her in with the men. But if they just had the truth in the headlines and the language in the first place, it would read male prisoner removed from female prisons. Nobody would think twice. We'd all be like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. But so it's not a coincidence that they went after the language first on this issue and many issues, 10, 15 years ago. and then they brought in the absurdist policies, because none of that works if you can't change the language first.
You have to change the language first in order for people to accept it.
Yep.
You have to. They've been telling us for the longest time, and especially when you start digging into it a bit more, would you rather have a dead son or
Then
an alive daughter?
Classic manipulation.
Like, that is just wrong. Angry
Yep.
Canadian is bang on, by the way. Crocodile Dundee grabbed the crotch. Instantly knows. Did you see? I don't remember who she is, but she's a senator, if I'm not mistaken, or a governor from the U.S. And she is a like 100% Republican. She's at her farm. She's milking a cow, and she's like, "Who's that reporter from that I'm gonna say MSNBC because I can't remember which station it was, but she's like, who's that reporter from MSNBC that thinks that there's no difference in gender because this is a cow? I can show you and you can try to milk one of my bulls, see what happens." And she's just sitting there milking and laughing her ass off. I absolutely love this stuff, but yeah, crocodile, that's the way to figure it out, right? You don't believe in biology? Try to milk a bull.
Yeah,
see what the fuck happens.
Milk a bull. Yeah. As Angry Case, we need an AI of Crocodile Dundee saying, "That's not a cock. This is a cock."
It would probably not be that hard to actually to do. That's pretty simple to do, actually. With AI now, it's so easy. So easy. That's another one. I agree with Sylvie. Sylvie's saying that I don't consider equestrian as a sport. The horse does all the work. And I know my cousins, my aunt and her two daughters, they've always had horses. They've been riding their whole life. And this is going to be fucking mean what I'm going to say, but they're obese. I always feel bad for the horse. Like, I look at them on the horse and and she posted something on Facebook a couple of years ago, and she has a new horse, and you could tell like he was skinny, was not a big horse, because horses are stupid expensive, right? And they're not rich. Yeah. They just dump all of their money in there.
In the horse.
And she's like, yes. And she's like, she has the audacity to say, as an obese woman, "Oh, my horse is not very strong yet, but we'll get there." I'm like, how about you lose weight, bitch? Like, I'm just, this is so, if she would have, I'm looking at the horse and I'm looking at her. There's pictures of her on the horse and I'm like, I like horses.
The horse is looking at you like, "Save me."
I'm an asshole, but man, I would say that to her in her face. This is just wrong. Poor horse. I agree, man.
What Wise Guy says, actually, women are pretty equal to men in sport shooting, equestrian, and gymnastics. That's where Sylvie's comment came from. She does consider equestrian a sport. Yeah, I know there definitely are
not in gymnastics. Not in gymnastics.
No, not in gymnastics. It's a
different
type of gymnastics.
Yeah. The one with the ribbon?
Destroy the woman. Okay. Yeah.
The ribbon? Yeah, they might compete in the ribbon.
Yeah, because they have their own events that the men don't do, and vice versa. And the men's ones are generally related to like pure strength, obviously, like the
100%. 100%.
And the women's tend to be about like balance and stuff. But at the end of the day, even if it's something, like say sports shooting where there isn't an obvious male advantage, it's just, I think women just deserve their own category, right? They get a shot at their own categories in the Olympics, and men get their own. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I just think it's much easier than trying to go down and try to figure out sport by sport how much of an advantage is. Just say, look, just have a male and female division.
Just is
easy, simple. We've done it. It's worked for however long they've had 125 years. I think they had the first female category at the 1900 Olympics. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But before you take that back, just put back the comment. So I would argue that women are probably better in sports shooting. I've trained with some very phenomenal trainers, like all ex-military, Navy SEALs, and like I've been very fortunate to train with some great guys. And one of the comments that I hear all the time from them is that women are more patient. They tend to be more patient when it comes to shooting, and they tend to listen to instructions more. And I'm thinking about all the time I didn't listen to instructions. I'm like, yeah, maybe they have a point. Maybe they know what the hell they're talking about. So arguably women could be better shooter because the type of caliber that they're shooting at the Olympics, they're not shooting some really, they're not 0.5 cal. Like the gun is not 18 pounds that needs to be put down on the table.
There's probably the men probably do better just because there's probably more men that are shooting around the world. But if you took like, you know, 1 million women and 1 million men and train them, I could see you probably have the women would probably be better.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yes. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. It's one of those things.
Is it really a sport? I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of things in the Olympics I think is a bit silly. I mean, like
they should shoot other people. They should shoot other people.
Yeah. That's a sport.
That's a fucking sport. Two people start with 2 mags of 9mm. Go.
Yeah.
Whoever comes out. No, that's a sport. That is a fucking sport. Or hard target. Like I grew up watching Jean-Claude Van Damme, right? Hard target. Here's money. You have to survive X number of time. If you make it to that point, we give you the money. That's a fucking sport. If you're the guy being hunted, that's a fucking sport.
It's funny because I heard, I read about, or I read an article and it mentioned hard target today, which is really weird. But the reason they mentioned it is, and I'm just bringing this up because I thought it was interesting, is so you know the Sarajevo or the Bosnian civil war, you know that like. I don't know, early 1990s or something. There was the what was it? The like Bosnia, Serbia, Croatia, that whole area was. And apparently, it just came out that there was like a lot of or maybe not a lot, but a few dozen rich people that ended up paying like $100,000 to fly in. There was like the siege of Sarajevo, and they flew in, and they basically did that in real life. They paid a lot of money so that they could go and shoot civilians.
I believe it.
Basically, like, you know, they fly you in and they'll provide you with some security. I mean, it's a war zone, so they can't totally guarantee your safety, but you're basically free reign. You can shoot anyone you see, which is super fucked up. But the fact that it's actually true, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that, like, you know, a lot of conspiracy theories are based on, like that stuff happens. And then to see it, you know, actually that they're actually happening that. And in the article, they were mentioning, you know, movies like Hostel or Hard Target.
Hostel. I was just going to say that. Yep.
Where this kind of thing is actually is portrayed. And then here you have like the real thing. And that's pretty messed up, man.
Before we get to the next subject, I just want to take one other comment from Ann King, because this is from earlier. It was about when we were talking about the app and debating. But she's saying that lefties don't debate. They shut down speech. Why do you think they love canceling except when it happens to them? Most of the time, you're absolutely right. But I can tell you that I've been to LA not that long ago. I was in San Francisco to debate a lesbian mother when I was a few months ago. And one thing that I've learned from debating lefties is that it is up to us, the conservatives, to do it in a way that is based on common sense. If you go there with facts and you're not trying to attack them, you're just stating facts, there's ways to do it. But normally you're absolutely right. They will try to shut down debate. They don't want to debate you. It's very debating a woke person is literally, one is based on emotions, the other one's based on facts. It's very hard to argue facts if the facts are against your opinion. You have to feel threatened. You have to start saying, oh, you're a racist, you're a bigot, you're this. That's why they do it. But there's ways around it, and King, but I agree. It is up to us to do it.
Yeah.
That is that's like the perfect segue. I literally have the video loading right now. Like, I'm just gonna bring it up. What's going on, True North? Hopefully all is good, brother.
What's the what's the occasion here, or what's the? I assume it's a protest, True North. What's the issue?
Well, here you go. I was just about to show that video, so thank you. It's literally bang. It's literally right here.
Oh, fuck
so this is the video.
That is retarded. I saw this, man.
So basically, the Palestinian flag will be flown for the first time at the Toronto City Hall in recognition of Palestine's Independence Day. So here is what True North was actually talking about. So perfect segue.
Occupation is a crime. The flag of Palestine is set to fly at City Hall for the first time in Toronto's history next week. City staff have approved a request from the International Centre of Justice for Palestinians following Canada's official recognition of statehood in September.
We need to remember that without the brave historical step by the Canadian government led by Mr. Carney, recognizing the Palestinian people rights to self-determination and the Palestinian state is the reason why we're celebrating such a huge move, where a city like Toronto.
This Palestinian activist says the day should be celebrated as a moment of hopefulness.
It's a symbolic move to raise the flag, but I believe this will encourage other parties and institutions, individuals inside Canada to join the journey for human rights and equality and justice regarding the issue of Palestine.
In an email to CBC, a representative from Mayor Olivia Chow says the flag raising was approved by the city's protocol office, not City Council or the mayor herself.
Of course
per a
not.
1999
but you
council
don't
motion, the
have
mayor
any
and
say
council
in
do
that?
not
Like,
have
you're
the
the fucking
authority
mayor,
to approve or
man.
deny flag raising
I
requests.
hate that shit.
In another statement, a spokesperson for the city says the use of the city's courtesy flagpoles doesn't indicate support for the politics or policies of specific nations, but does recognize the citizens that made the request. Meanwhile, some say it's a move the city should have made
Would
sooner.
they raise the Israeli
Toronto's
flag?
policy actually says that it will fly the flag of any nation recognized by Canada. Canada has recognized the Palestinian nation for decades. Recognizes Palestinian passports. There's a Palestinian consulate in Canada. However, Toronto conflated the notion of nationhood and statehood.
Anticipating some pushback to the flag raising, he says the city's just being fair.
I don't think that it has anything to answer for here. It's simply applying its policy in this instance in a fair and equitable way, the same way that it applies it to any other country.
CBC Toronto reached out to multiple local Jewish organizations, but none were able to comment before deadline. In 2024, there were more than 60 flag raisings at City Hall. More than 40 of those were national flags. Tyler Cheese, CBC News, Toronto.
You know what would be nice is that we raise one single fucking flag and it's the Canadian flag.
Yeah.
How crazy of a concept would that be? One flag, Canada. All the rest, go suck one. You want to you want to put it on your house? No problem. At City Hall, fuck off.
Yeah,
Canada,
exactly right.
Canada only. The rest, fuck off. Not that complicated. See, and so Nova Scotia's Supreme Court or Supreme Court judges are telling us, or telling their court staff, that wearing a poppy in their courtroom is political. But Toronto has no problem raising the flag of Palestine. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
I mean,
like, how fucking stupid are we?
Yeah. It's nonsense. I don't particularly have anything against the Palestinian flag, but it is a political symbol. It absolutely is. And to pretend like, this is a great example of what we were talking about earlier, where so much of the left, they think that their partisan beliefs or their partisan positions are actually neutral, nonpartisan, mainstream consensus positions, and they just aren't. They're not. No. And so that, therefore, if you don't agree with them, you just don't. It's not just that you're disagreeing politically. It's that you're a bad person. You're evil. And this is their mindset for a lot of them. I don't particularly have an issue with someone who flies a Palestinian flag or supports a Palestinian cause, so long as they do it, in an appropriate form and an appropriate format. But to say and pretend like it's not at all, it's not political, is just ridiculous. It is absolutely a political symbol, and I just don't see why, as you said, why is City Hall even getting involved in the flying politicized symbols business? Just like that, that trans flag they had. That's absolutely a political flag. You're free to fly it if you want, but don't put it on a City Hall that's designed to speak for all 5 million Torontonians, or however many there are. If you're gonna have any flags there, it should be Canadian flag or the Ontario flag, or if Toronto has a flag, maybe that.
Well, I think it's the pride flag is the Toronto flag.
That's the Toronto flag. Yeah, exactly.
Oops. But I agree with you. The only flag that to me, the only flag that should be there is Canada. That's it. All the rest can suck one. I really don't give a fuck about your country's flag or your organization's flag. I don't give a fuck. Just the Canadian flag, plain and simple. One of the things I wanted to say is I just want to point out that True North is saying that he was mentioning that they were going to raise the flag. Funny enough, I was just going to talk about that. But he's going to be there on Monday. And one of the things that I've said to guys like him, that I said to guys like Chris Dacey is, guys, you need to start being careful when you go to those places. Because I know what it is to record live and to be talking to people. You're not necessarily paying attention to everything that happens around you. And people are cowards. They will punch you. They will attack you. It has happened time and time again. So if you guys are in the Toronto area, get in touch with True North and go with him. Check his back. Like I've asked that from people before. If you believe in the type of work that he does, that these type of stories need to be covered from the street level, not just from our show, but for somebody that's over there in the live. Support guys like True North and show up. Just protect his back. Just watch his back. Be there for him, and make sure that those little cowards, Antifa cowards out there and the Free Palestine cowards out there are not attacking him, because that's one thing that we can do to help others, right? So see, I hire private security, and I feel you, man. I feel you. I absolutely feel you.
It's wild that you even have to, though, eh?
Yeah. Well, that's just a reality. Just like when I met with Billboard Chris a couple of months ago, like about 4 months ago. And he said, like he was telling me, in Montreal he got attacked. Somebody picked up a one of the cones, like construction cones, and smacked him with it. I think he broke his arm or something like that. I told him, man, I'm like, next time you're in Montreal, just fucking just call me, man. He has my number. We have each other's number. Just give me a call. I'll go create content with you, and I'll check your back. I'll make sure that nobody touches you, because we need to, right?
Yeah. No, yeah, they're getting the left is getting more and more violent, and I think it's, for the most part, it's because, well, there's two things. I think one is that a lot of just mentally ill people are just sort of attracted to the left, and then I think you've got the left. You know, there's a sense that they're losing in a lot of ways, losing some of these cultural wars in ways they never have before, or at least not in the last 20 or 30 years, and that brings frustration. So you've got the frustrations of that, combined with, you know, disordered, mentally unwell people who aren't really emotionally stable, and the result is you get this increase in violent behavior.
Yeah, 100. You're absolutely fucking right on that one. This is exactly what's happening, which is why we need to be careful.
Yes, absolutely. And so says, I have my Alberta flag, Canada and Mexico in front of my home. Yeah, and if fly in front of your home is perfectly fine. There's no, you can fly whatever flag you want in front of your home. And I think that's you know, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I don't think anyone's got an issue with the Palestinian flag per se, just at City Hall. It doesn't you know, it just creates division. And at the end of the day, local government's jobs should be to prevent division or promote unity in society, not division. Mel G says 100%. The left is acting like a cornered animal. Yeah, I mean, that's tale as old as time, right? When you've got you're used to power, and then you're losing it, you can expect to see lashing out.
So I wanted to bring up one more story. We have a few minutes. We have like 7 minutes left. So we'll bring up another story. This one kind of blew my mind. This one is just like the what the fuck story of the day. CBC is at it again. I'm not even going to introduce it. I'm just going to play the video just to show you how idiotic this is. But this is real. What I'm going to show you, this is a real video. It's a video from like November 8th. It is absolutely ludicrous, but this is where we are. This is where we are in Canada. So listen to this.
In Quebec is promising big savings at a time when food prices keep rising. The low-cost chain sells discounted items, sometimes past their best before date. As the CBC's Gabriel Guindy found out, shoppers say the deals are hard to beat.
I'm at a type of grocery store that's gaining a lot of momentum. It sells discounted items, and people shopping here say they're saving a lot of money.
I spent 52 days, and if I would have bought it everywhere else, probably $150.
The food is sourced through distributors and manufacturers, so products that are mislabeled or can't be sold in regular grocery stores end up here, like this beef that was supposed to go.
Like, I paused it perfectly. Did you see the color of that beef? Does that look like a good... Is that the color of beef?
So as I'm watching this, I'm thinking, fuck, I'd like one of those stores near me. Now, depending on certain foods, like I don't like pasta or something. You know, if it's near its expiry date, I'm sure it's fine. But like, I don't know, I'm not buying discounted beef, man. I don't know. That's not.
But look at the color of that beef. Yeah, does that look like good beef to you?
No, yeah, that ain't. And I mean, the fact of the matter is the fact that these stores are even necessary and that they're so busy, I think is definitely that's
the problem I want to highlight.
Yeah,
yes,
it's making a statement on the state of society, and it's not a good one.
To a restaurant. It's sold at a discount, making prices more affordable. Another reason for why prices are so cheap is because they sell items that are near or past their best before date.
Best before is almost more of a recommendation about marketing, whereas expiry for something like a meat product is, about the safety of consuming that food.
Experts say the stigma around low-cost stores like this one seems to be shifting.
Years ago, there was a bit of a negative stigma in being a bargain hunter, but nowadays, lots of people shop at these
Funny how I know everything
locations.
about that guy's
Just 5 years. 5 years ago, people are...
I'm just going to pause it there because she mentioned something that's absolutely true. But if you go back, she looks like a vegan.
Yeah.
That dude has not skipped a meal in a very fucking long time. But you look at them like not very healthy looking. She literally looks like she needs iron like tomorrow, like yesterday. This guy,
it's funny how like all the experts are now just being like, well, expiry dates aren't even really that important anyways. I just eat the black beef. It's fine. Just eat the green beef. It's fine. You'll be all right.
We have to be true here. There is a difference between expiry date and a best before.
Sure.
Expiry date is you don't want to cross that line. You might regret trying meat, especially that's expired. Have you ever seen the Seinfeld episode where George Costanza's father tries to feed? He tries to feed expired meat to his troops, and everybody throws up. He's super PTSD about it. That's when he was in the army. But that's all. When he's talking, all I can think is that, because there's a difference between having a pass best before. Best before is just this is where it's the freshest.
I think it depends on the food.
Yeah,
too.
but like pasta. Let's say pasta. Let's say your vachon. Like they were showing desserts. There's so much crap in there. It don't matter if you eat it.
Those will last forever.
It don't matter. It probably tastes better with time. Somehow.
Yeah.
It's like a McDonald's. Have you ever seen a burger from McDonald's left to dry? Nothing happens to it.
It's like the exact same. Like no change.
Insects won't touch it. But if you're eating food that animals won't touch, that should tell you something right there. You shouldn't eat that food.
Well, that's if you put a stick of butter outside and a stick of margarine, the ants will go after the butter pretty quick.
Yeah,
but
of course,
nothing will touch the margarine. Nothing.
But let's continue listening to health experts about what we should and should not eat, because obviously those are the cream of the crop of the people that should be telling us
this
what
guy.
our diet should be.
I know everything about this guy's politics and his testosterone levels just by looking at him.
In being a bargain hunter, but nowadays, lots of people shop at these retail locations.
Just 5 years. 5 years ago, people are looking, no, I'm not touching the box because it's expired. Now, because of the economy, people are, it's 88 cents. I'm going to try.
As for liquidation, Marie, business...
So yeah, at least she's honest at the end of the
this
day.
is a good thing, but it's not really. Like,
No,
I mean, me
it shows
personally,
you
I
how
would
bad
certainly
we
check
are.
I would check a store like that out for like some things like canned goods or pasta. I'd not be buying my meat from it. But at the end of the day, that's also because I'm just cheap like that. I love a deal. Like it's in my DNA. But it's
Yeah,
not
but
a good
there's
thing.
places
not a
that you can
good
go,
thing.
especially on the Ontario side. I haven't really seen them on the Quebec side, but I lived in Ontario half my life, and you know what? There's a lot of stores like grocery store where I wouldn't buy my meat from there, but like you say, if you're buying bread, if you're buying canned goods, they're just no names. Everything's no name. And I've known guys that ran grocery stores. I've known guys that were working at those packing plants, and you know what? If you're buying canned goods, it's the same people canning it. They just change the label on it. So there's not a lot of difference between the cheapo stuff. But when it comes to meat, fuck off. I'm not buying expired green looking meat.
And as a comment on society, I think it's not a good thing that like stores like this are becoming more and more popular and people are getting excited about this. And now you've got food experts starting to like be like, expiry dates are best before. They're more of a, they're not really that important anyways. As my 2 cents says, the Value Village of food stores. See, actually, I love Value Village, but if most people were shopping,
that's where you got your shirts from there.
Oh yeah, of course. I love the deal, but that's just because I'm weird like that. If most people are shopping at Value Village because that's all they can afford because of the economy, something's gone terribly wrong.
But that's what they're talking about. Like at the end, it's the owner of the grocery store chain. It's named after her. They were going to say that they have 8 right now, and they're going to have 10 by the end of the year. So they're kind of telling you what the problem is. And I posted about this earlier, and guys, remember 42.3%. That is the amount of the average worker Canadian spends on taxes. 42.3% of their income are gone because of taxes, like provincial, municipal, federal. And then you start looking, I did the calculation, the average Canadian pays between 90-something%, like 92 or 93% to 102% of their salaries on literally necessities, and add cell phone bills, your internet, your transport, like if you have a car, your insurance, but regular stuff that 10 years ago was just nothing. But most people spend between 90 to 103% of their stuff on nothing extravagant. 25.5% of households in Canada cannot afford daily necessities like food. So this is not a good thing. This is not you looking for cheap clothes because you're cheap. It's people.
This is people
buying,
who don't have a.
That's all they can buy. They have a choice. Do I spend $50 on shit that's gonna expire or that's already that's past date? Or do I spend $150 on the same food that is still considered okay? Like, that's not a choice that the average Canadian should ever have to make, considering that we sit on the 3rd largest reserve of oil and gas in the fucking world. That we should be an energy superpower. We should literally be living like we're in Saudi Arabia. Not the regime, but we should be living like it's Dubai. Yeah. We should be living like it's Dubai here because we have the natural resources to do.
Right?
No,
we have a shit ton of oil spread out only over only 40 million people. That means more money. That like it's the same amount of mineral wealth, except we don't have that many people spread around. So we could really, it means it's much easier to improve our standard of living than it would be to improve, say, American standard of living, because there's 350 million of them, right?
We could literally do it over a few years. We could literally go from a destroyed economy
so many of our problems
to like
have easy solutions, and all they require is a little bit of political will.
Their policy problem. What's the guy in is it Argentina? Is it Argentina or Venezuela? I can't remember. Milei. He's the perfect proof how you go from literally a communist country to where they are right now. He is shifting absolutely everything, and is all based on policies. That's it. That's all it is. They had the resources to do it, so they did it. This is how important politics is. But unfortunately today, doesn't matter that you're looking to the left or you're looking to the right. They don't give a fuck about you and I. This is not a left versus right problem. This is a top versus bottom problem.
Yeah. I vote for the next person that comes in and says, here's what we're going to do. We're going to build nuclear power plants to power our country. We're going to dig oil, or we're going to build pipelines and dig oil and minerals out of the ground. I don't care what party you're in. You say that shit, I vote for you. But none of them will,
because it is something
even
that would save.
Conservatives should be saying this stuff. Like Poilievre, yeah, he'll get a little bit of lip service here and there, but it all sounds like slogans. It doesn't sound like a hard plan that he's actually thought about.
But they're not hurting. But they're not hurting. At the end of the day, they're not hurting. This is the thing, right? We have a bunch of politicians that are trying to convince us that they're doing it for us when they're making 200 grand a year of our taxpayers' money. Those people are not hurting. They're not being touched by the economy the way that we are. They're not the ones having to go to buy expired food or a date past the best before food. They're not the ones that are being hurt by that. So how can they talk about this? This is what bothers me the most about politicians, and I don't care which one it is. There's not one politician in Canada that can tell me that they are feeling the hurt, because they're not. You don't get to make 200 grand a year or more like I used to make before COVID and say I was hurting. I wasn't fucking hurting. Are you kidding me? I was debating how many houses I was going to own. That was my biggest problem, is to find a house I wanted to invest, another house to invest in.
Life comes at you fast.
But you know what I'm saying, right? This is the problem, is that our politicians just don't give a fuck about us. They don't understand us. They don't feel us. They don't know what it is to hurt. At least if they do, they don't remember. Because I guarantee you that if they did, they would fight the way that we're talking about right now. And as you said, I don't care who the politician would be. If you show up and you start saying, let's close the borders, let's reevaluate our fucking immigration policies, let's put a stop to it, and let's take a year or two to reevaluate, let's get rid of the people that are here milking the system, that have no rights to be here, kick them out. Let's look at our social services, like our healthcare, for example. Our population's aging; it's going to catch up to us. Let's minimize the size of the government. It's too big, just like Nadine Woodland was telling us a few days ago. The size of government, we need to put the government back in its cage. Small government that deals with the military and judiciary. That's it. Outside of that, fuck off. You're not responsible for it. And as you said, somebody that wants to dig, build pipelines, build refineries, build nuclear energy, take advantage of our natural resources like our minerals, build more dams for hydroelectricity because we're one of the biggest suppliers and we can sell that shit to the US. It's not that hard. There's like 10 things.
Everything you just said would be a radical platform for a party, and it's the most common of sense things. As Will says, PBC has said that from day one. Yeah, and like I said, they're looked at as a radical party, even though many of those things are not actually radical.
And we've had Maxime Bernier a couple of times on the show. I actually like his policies, but all due respect to Maxime Bernier, he's not the one that's going to get elected. I think the best thing that could happen to the PPC, and all due respect to Maxime Bernier, is to have somebody else replace him. That's younger. That is not a career politician.
Yeah, a young, charismatic,
English-speaking
male. Frankly, a guy
English-speaking
Mamdani, not in policies, but in the visuals, the image. A guy 35 to 40, high energy, charismatic, who just fucking says what he means. Like that there is a thirst for that kind of a politician, and he would shoot up in the polls. It doesn't matter, even if he is on the PPC. Just talking common sense. But every fucking politician, like I guess Poilievre's not that old. He's mid-40s, but he has that feel of old.
No, but he's a career politician. Yeah. This is my biggest problem with Maxime Bernier, because I like most of the things that he is.
He is a career politician.
My two problems that I have with him, career politician and his French accent. He needs to develop a better English, because he is hard to understand, and it's not going to be appealing to a lot of people in the West.
No,
But that being said, I will always have respect for Maxime Bernier because he is the only politician that never changed his tune on the COVID lockdowns, on the vaccines, on the whole COVID thing. He was the biggest advocate against it from the get-go, and it never changed.
Well,
he stood his ground, and I gotta respect that.
People will say like, oh, well, that stuff doesn't matter. Who cares if he's got a thick accent? But it does. Like, communication is so important, and that's why I brought up Mom Danny. It has nothing to do with his policies. Obviously, I'm not talking about his policies whatsoever. I'm talking about a guy who is a good orator, because he is. He is a strong orator, just like Barack Obama. A young, fresh face that can speak with conviction and give people that feeling in their stomach. That is worth its weight in gold in politics. That is worth far more, frankly, than even someone who's running on policies. And it's incorrect to say that stuff doesn't matter, because it's probably, if not it's one of the most important things. It's not even what you're saying, it's how you say it. And is that dumb? Yeah, it's kind of dumb. It's a bit shallow, but it's also reality. That's how politics works.
You know, I don't think he should be in his 30s, though. That's too young, in my opinion. It should be in his 40s.
35 to 45, I think.
There's a good reason why you can't be a president in the U.S. when I think you need to be above 35 or 40 in order to be a president, and it makes sense. You need to have life experience. But I think the thing that people are looking for the most is somebody that's going to, like I say, flip tables, somebody that's ready to fuck shit up, that's going to show up, say what needs to be said, and not going to apologize for pissing people off. Like, just show up and say, you know what? Women can't have penises. I don't give a fuck how you take it. This is a fact. Fuck off. We're dropping it right there. Like, make your policies known. And there's about 10 things that needs to be said in order to...
There's different ways you could channel that energy, that table flipping energy. But at the end of the day, it's just people like to see, if you want to use a word like virile or just strong, if you want to use
masculine
that way,
man, a masculine man.
Yeah, a masculine man. And just someone who just is unapologetic about it. That like I said, that is worth its weight in gold in politics these days. But all the parties care about is who's paid their dues, right? Whose turn it is. And that's why, even though Poilievre is not he's a young guy, he's only 45, but he's still, you'd put him more in line with those old politicians than a young, fresh face, because he still came up as a politician. He's a career politician. And, for these guys, it's just about, like when Hillary was running in 2016, it wasn't because she was the best person. It's because it was her term, right? She paid her dues in the Democratic Party. And that's how, whether it's the Liberal Party, Democratic Party, or the Conservative Republican Party, most Western parties these days, that's how they pick their leaders, is whose turn it is. And people are sick of that shit. And of course, Donald Trump came in and he threw that whole system, threw a monkey wrench into the whole system. And that's why they hated him at first. And that's why many in the Republican Party still do. But they're smart enough to know that they need to bend the knee and kiss the ring, because he's clearly captured that party.
But that's what basically Lou is saying, kind of like Trump, and that's my whole point.
And it's funny because it's not actually
imagine
about age.
a young
Poilievre is a younger guy, and Trump's old as fuck, but Trump still has that young, charismatic. Not that he's physically young, but he's got that fresh face vibe to him.
But I don't want a guy. I want a guy that has similar attitudes as Trump, as in he doesn't care who he insults, who he hurts feelings, he doesn't care. But I want a younger guy. I want a guy in his 40s. I want a guy that's healthy looking. I want a guy that hits the gym. I want a father. I want somebody that has a family. I want a guy that I want a guy that I'd follow the battle. This is always one of the first things I look in the leader. I'm like, okay, if shit hits the fan, are you on my zombie team or not? One of my buddies used to say that all the time. He judges everybody around him. All of the friends that he has are people that would bring something to his zombie team. If the apocalypse hits today, he knows all those people, they have different skills that will make his team better. So he wants those people around him.
Look at it, but it's a great
filter. It's very clever. It's very clever. Way to very clever.
People in your life, right? Just surround yourself with quality people. Yeah, there's a lot of intangibles there, right? That people want to see in leaders, even if they don't know they want it, right? They certainly don't think about it in those terms. They'll just see a guy who has those traits, and they'll be like, oh, I like that guy. I'm not sure why. But yeah, there's it's just so many politicians are that cookie cutter, right? They're just cut out. It's like they go to the school for the, University of Career Politicians. Clearly, Poilievre was a graduate of that school. There's and back to how we got on this topic in the first place. There's a huge market inefficiency, if you want to call it that, a huge hole for someone to come in and fill it if they would just do and say these things.
The thing is that, and I strongly believe, like I have thought about this before, the next person that could really shape Canada could literally be a marketing whiz on social media. Just somebody that understands how to put content on there and reach an audience that wants to hear it. Because there's a lot of people in Canada that wants that type of guy that we're talking about. It's just how do you put that guy in front of the people that want to listen, that are starving for that type of speak. And to me, social media is the perfect way to do it. If you understand how social media works, it's very easy for you to set yourself up for a political career. It's very easy to do if you understand how it works and how to approach 100%. It. But I guarantee you that guys like me that understand social media don't want to be in politics. That's the problem. That's the biggest problem, is that guys like me that should be running for office don't want to run. I don't want to run. I don't want to be in politics. I don't want to be part of that system. I don't. I really don't.
Well,
and that's the problem. Those are the type of guys you want.
People who should be, who you want, don't want to do it. And the people who do want to do it are the people that you probably are the wrong choice.
They're not doing it for the right reason. They're not there to serve the public. No, serving the public, I've talked about this so many times, but serving the public, being a public servant should cost you something. It shouldn't make you rich. It should be a chore. It should be something that you understand is going to be very hard, because you're taking that time away from your family, from your own ambitions, from what you want to really do in order to serve others. That's what it's supposed to be, public service. But that's not what it is, obviously, but that's what it's supposed to be.
Yep. No, I agree. All right, guys, we're gonna put a pin in there. We're a few minutes over, but sometimes the chat warrants it, and I think today was one of those days.
It's all your fault.
Excellent show. Yep, excellent show again, as always. Great to see you guys. Great to see all those comments come in. If you're just watching and it's first time, you like what Nico and I are trying to do here, if you support it, please consider becoming a member. You can do that through YouTube, right near the chat function. You can, I believe it's, you do that for the price of $2.99 per month. That will help us continue to bring this high quality content to you guys 5 nights a week. Other than that, guys, we will catch you tomorrow night for the last show of the week.
No, it's not. Sundays still counts, but
yes.
We'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye.